Okay, so here's a great way of scaling your online courses across very specific niches that you may be trying or testing or targeting, or you may have built, websites or communities that actually have members of those sorts of professions already in place. So I would ask you or encourage you to check out the video course that I published it on YouTube. I wasn't going to, but I decided to at the last minute. It was originally shared as unlisted, but I decided today, which is the 22nd of December, to unlist it so that folks who want to actually use and see a live example of how one of these sorts of courses would work can actually copy and emulate this approach. So here, and I'll post the link to that video below. I just published it yesterday. But essentially what it is, it's a short course on using, on how, real service professionals can incorporate reviews and testimonials into their online branding, their book launches, their, websites, blogs, social media, etc. And the course is tiny, but it's a half hour, and it has a series of steps, like tiny steps. I used a course LMS called 7TAPS, which I really, really enjoy. And that generates a course that's kind of like a mini sort of Pinterest style slide presentation. It has all sorts of, you can add video, you can add audio, you can add quizzes, you can add polls, etc. You can add links. But I also recorded myself going through the slide presentation, right? So now I have a video of the whole presentation. I have the presentation itself, which is a separate online mini course. And now I can embed this course across multiple different communities that we run and own. So you'll see in that little mini course that the first card, the first slide, is targeting psychic mediums. And while I'm fairly agnostic about psychic mediums, we have a community of psychic mediums, right? And people who are interested in sort of esoteric spiritual experience. So essentially that first card in that first course can be changed to then be, let's say, plumbers or therapists or tiny book authors, right? Authors who also want to feature their own reviews from Amazon or their own reviews from the work they do in the world, right? So all I need to do is change the first introduction or introductory slide or sort of card, because that's how these courses are generated using that tool. But so that could be for, therapists or for authors. And the rest of the content is pretty much appropriate for every sort of niche, vertical market, industry, etc. Right? So I only have to change the start of the set for it to be salient and relevant to every different sort of audience I may want to sell to in 2024. And essentially for us, we're focused just on authors and, mental health professionals, as I've covered before, with, some other niche communities that I have an interest in that we also want to offer this as well, although I'm not really going to be focused on that personally. But people who are chiropractors are going to be equally as stoked to learn how to embed their real world reviews and testimonials and endorsements that are positive on their websites as much as therapists would, as much as psychic mediums would. And I put psychic mediums in quotes, as much as a plumber would or an author would, etc. Right? So the course itself, you can see it. So you can actually see what the course looks like, and then you can actually see in your own mind how just making a single change at the very beginning of the card set, that course could be appropriate for a local community, for sending traffic from, every niche under the sun in a local geographic, locality, a community. We have a ghost membership site that, again, I'm only tangentially involved in, but I do actually own the platform, and it's called sjlist.com. It's for South Jersey, entrepreneurs and small business owners. So we're going to embed this there too. And I would just take out that first card where it says psychic mediums and instead, change it to South Jersey entrepreneurs. And essentially, the other thing I would have to do is maybe edit out the very beginning of the video where I make reference to, psychic mediums in that case, because that's where we started with the first course. But essentially, that's easy to do. I can just edit out the first 45 seconds and change it, add a new clip that precedes that, where really the content begins, where I'm talking to South Jersey entrepreneurs. It's or therapists, or authors, or plumbers, or dentists, or florists. It doesn't really matter, right? This is how you use a single set of ideas and you scale them. You can, rinse and repeat them. You can iterate, optimize, tweak, critique, and improve on, whoever it is that you're targeting in the world by dint of what's working, what's not. All of these aren't going to work, by the way. I mean, there will be some folks, and it might even be these folks, the psychic medium folks that we started with this, that may be like, yeah, I just can't afford, to worry about adding reviews to my website. I have a full-time job. I'm a mom, I'm a dad, and this is a part-time gig for me. But I promise you, a doctor or a therapist or a psychiatrist or a, real world professional, a financial advisor, a real estate professional or agency, those folks, this is what they do. This is their hustle, and their bread and butter are the reviews that they get in their local community or, in their marketplace. Okie doke. So hopefully you check this out. If you're interested in doing this for yourself in 2024, I can't think of a better way of demonstrating this idea than actually giving you access to the idea as it's being implemented in our own, kind of community. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. If you are interested in doing this and need some help, you can reach out to me via email, mindfulmarketplace@gmail.com, and I can see if I can help. And if, again, you are looking for an ethical and effective way of really offering an empirically valid, strategy, that, a service that folks are just not doing in the world, where the universe of potential clients is literally endless. Everybody who offers a service in the world is a potential client. It doesn't matter how smart they are. It doesn't matter how, what profession they're working in. Pretty much everybody who sells something in the world, a service, a product, is now getting reviewed. And people are predicating their decision whether to hire that person or buy that book or download that product or go to Amazon and order that item. They're all we are all looking at reviews. I do it, equally as much. My fiance, for an example, she spends a good portion of her week reading reviews on Amazon before buying shit that we don't need. So, and it's always based on the reviews that are animating her decision to push buy now, to my chagrin. So again, this is not a business model that's going to disappear. It's always going to be, on the menu when reviews and testimonials and people's feedback on people, products, services, items, etc. are the most salient way in which other people make decisions about also buying those products or services. Teach what you know, do what you love. wake up the world with your work. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I appreciate you and have a wonderful day.